Hey, how's it going, and welcome to part 2 of the Halloween episode where we're working on a maze. If you didn't see the previous episode a few days ago where we built the maze, maybe jump back, take a look now, so you know where we are, because in that episode we done all the world edit and we got it working. In this episode we will be doing a lot of the technical stuff to make doors and secret passages, and probably something that's really critical, an entrance and an exit. So, if this is the first time you've seen this pack or this channel, go back an episode, but then take a look around. If you like what you see, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. But, let's get started. The very first thing we're going to need to do is actually create somewhere to stick our automation and components. I'm thinking we'll do it down here, but the first thing we need to do is actually probably put some light in. So, I'm going to do something a little bit different. Go grab that, expand 5 that way, and then 5 to the right. I'll replace the ear with our trusty old stone bricks. Make sure that's not taking anything else out. No, good. And yeah, it looks a bit weird, but what we're actually going to do is if we now go copy, that puts it in the clipboard. We can set that all back to ear. Head down here. I'm just going to take this down one more layer, I think. And then we're going to stand in the middle, which is there. We'll run a cylinder, which is just going to ear. The total size of it is 68, so we'll go 67 here. We're going to go too high, so we've got room to move around ourselves. Put that there, and it makes quite a dark area. But if we then go one further down, in here we could do the same thing again. Replace this with clipboard, which will take what we just copied, place that in there, and now we've got light all through the place. Wasn't that a cool trick? And once again, we'll just put a hole there. So that gives us a place to store the automation. If you remember in the last episode, I referenced a well-known movie. One of the things I liked about that was they had a base camp, and at night, the doors around the base camp would close at night. And I want to implement something very similar here, where at night, the doors close, but the second set of doors will open at night, which means you have to plan your runs quite well, otherwise you'll get yourself trapped in here, and that may not be the best of options. So what we need to do first is set up the doors, and of course I will need to do this with all 4 doors, but I'm just going to do it here for now. So we'll take from there 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll just take that back 4 blocks as well. So it's 1, 2, 3, and 4. We are going to place in a sticky piston, followed by a sticky piston. And then we actually need crackstone bricks, which we have right there. I'm going to use crackstone bricks here because then it looks like it's cracked over time from all the movement. Then on the next layer, we're just going to go for a normal piston extender here. So it's going to be crackstone brick. We'll then place in a piston, followed by some more crackstone brick. Here, we're going to do the same thing here, but we're going to alternate it, so it's actually sticky piston, then a normal piston. We're not going to fill this block in, because the result I'm looking for is in the 3 blocks here. I want this bottom one to come to here, and you'll see the piston arm, and we'll do the same thing over here, where the piston arm will be here. So this will be the piston arm that doesn't have something. And then the final layer will be this one here. We will go with a sticky piston and another crackstone brick. Once again, that's our middle arm. And then we're going to grab those, expand 4 back, and then we will stack. Let's go 4 up. Goes right at the top, that's good. Except for I don't like that. So let's actually go undo, and we will stack 3 up. That should be better. We will take out, however, 1, 2. So there's all the redstone can go into here. Come back to that in a second, and we want to do exactly the same but in the reverse. So over here we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 in, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. The bottom one is going to be a sticky piston followed by a normal piston. Then our next layer will be exactly the same as this one here. So it was a piece of stone followed by a sticky piston and then another one of those. Then we're going to do our mirrored block there. So once again, we're doing sticky piston, stone. And then, of course, we're doing the other block, which is one sticky piston and then another piece of stone. So hopefully, if we've done that correctly, let's just put a piece of stone in there temporarily. Go up 4 and then take that back out. So expand 4 that way and we'll stack 3 up again. To take us to the same spot. So there's the cracked. And then if we go into here, 1, 2, we should go down there. There we go. So that's the other half of our redstone. And of course, if we go down here, we should now be able to access down here. Cool. Now, the next thing we're going to need to do is we need to be able to access the pistons that are in here. So, first thing we'll do is we'll run a redstone line down the back of these guys. And we'll use the white for that, I think. Let's take this up. And every second block here, we're going to place a redstone wire. Quite dark in here, sorry about that. We'll go up here. That we've got a redstone line going all the way. We'll do the same over here. We'll just bring this up. We'll need to place an alloy wire all the way up. And then a finish off with the white going up again. Cool. And then what we need to do to make a double piston extender work, that will push the back piston, but we also, so that's going to push this piston. The piston that's here will push one out. But now what we need to do is actually have it so that the next piston along, the one here, will get power if it's here or there. So to do that, I think we might have to take out one of these towers here. And just dig all the way down. So there's our pistons. Yep. All the way down here. And this is where I'm going to put an orange line in. So I'll put I'll put the orange line in for here. And I'm just going to run that into this block. Because this block here, it will actually touch. It effectively, even though it doesn't look like it, it will affect this piston. Plus, this block will affect the piston. So if we run a redstone line all the way up here, that should cover everything. And then we do the same on this side as well. All the way down. And we'll bring up a line like that. We'll place this on the wall and just go up. So then that gives us 2 lanes. Now I'm going to have to do this, of course, on each of the walls, on each of the doors, not just this one. And we have to do all 8 doors, because of course there's the 4 internal and the 4 external. But we can now go down here and you can see we've got these lines. So if I grab a lever, we can test to make sure this works. Throw a lever on here. And of course it's a bit hard to see what's going on. If we go up to here, we should see it's pushed them out. And it looks a bit odd, yes, I will give you that, it does look a bit odd. But if we then go and run this one, that's what I wanted. Just working out the pattern there. So you should see we've got it staggered. So 1, then 1, then 1, then 1. And of course, The other side, if we do the same thing, which is a matter of remembering how I did that. I believe it was this one, that one. So now you can see what the doors look like when they'll be closed. But obviously, I don't want to do that just manually. I am going to run a daylight sensor from somewhere. So let's run a daylight sensor. It's actually here. Yep. So we'll run a magenta line down here. Now, I don't think I can plug a... If we go down to here, you can see this is where our other lines are. We don't need to disconnect or anything, so we'll just go straight up. All the way up to here. Right to the top. Now, I don't want it to show directly, but I don't think I can place a daylight sensor directly on top. I think it has to be next to. Yes, it doesn't connect. And if I do a piece of redstone, yeah, it doesn't like that at all. It just sets the type. So we need to run a redstone, read the redstone signal off it. Don't like the way this is going to look. Place that there, maybe there. There we go, so that works. It's not ideal, and I'll probably need to rearrange that, because that's ugly. But, you can see that we've now got a redstone signal going down, and if we go down to our area down here, you can see the little red dot there. Now, we could do vanilla redstone, but where will be the fun in that? If we do something like OpenComputers, we've got a little more control on what we can do. So, I'm going to do that, and I'll be back in a moment. Okay, so the doors are now in, and you can see that all the holes are in there, and hopefully very, very soon it'll turn to nighttime, and we'll start seeing that happen. We'll start seeing them close. Shouldn't take too long. We are in sunset now. Doors are closed. Except for this one. Seems to be a little bit delayed. I'll have to investigate that one. But as you can see, the doors are closed, and they look really... They make it obvious that you can walk through them, but they are not possible to walk through, and it'll keep whoever's in the base area here safe. But if we fly out over here, there are also a set of doors here. And of course it's now night, so you can see that the doors are open. But it is a 2-gap, which means it is a different style again for how it's kept closed. But during the day, these are closed. Now what I do want to do is I'm going to clear out my inventory because I've got all sorts of stuff, but we'll have a quick look down underneath here. And you can see what's going on. So we've got a microcontroller which I've programmed up with a piece of code which effectively is a vanilla redstone signal to flip the double piston extenders, but it is based on the daylight sensor we put in the roof. The microcontroller is set to power off, so it's not using a lot of power. Power's off when the daylight sensor says that it is day. So that's the outer doors. And there is a NOT gate on those so that when it is not daylight, they're open, and when it is daylight, they're closed. The next thing I thought we'd put into this maze is some secret passages. Because then you can go from a part of the maze that was not where you wanted to be to somewhere a little more better for what you're trying to do. And all you've got to do is go through and find the location where these secret passages are. And I thought a good place to start would be right here, because there's actually nothing else in this area except for the gate that is there. But this gate actually doesn't go anywhere. So you'd be waiting around and find, oh, well, that wasn't very helpful. But if we put in something like a button here, because there's buttons all over the place, it might be quite difficult to find. So what I thought we'd do is go inside here. So if we go maybe too high, Too high? Yeah, probably too high. It should seem tight. So if we go in here though and we take out middles like this. So if we take out the middle, then we could fill out this whole piece here, and then maybe take it into here, and then come out somewhere random. And if you're running around this maze, it could be an advantage, or it might not be. I do think though we're going to have to probably make this a little bit smaller, because by default these are all 4, but I feel like we might have to make it 2, so that we can hide the door. So if we make it something like this, then we could go in and take that and just fill that in like that, and then we can place in a piston. Let's say here, we put that there and that there, and we ran a little redstone onto it. So we do that. As you can see, that would then hide it quite nicely from view, unless you knew where the button was. We do the same here, and obviously we will put in a button. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this up, and I'll be back in a moment. Right, so that is now in, and if we hit this button over here, it'll open the path. And I've gone through and dug out all the 2x3 that's in here, placed in a whole bunch of redstone torches. We can, of course, open up and get back out. And all it is doing is just a very simple redstone line which goes up and over in that location. And there's a piece that goes down here, which is what's doing this. And this is where the button on the other side is. So any one of those buttons will trigger this NOT gate, which will then trigger the things, and we're going to open it. And we're just going to cover that, so it's not as obvious in here that it's redstone. Obviously with the pistons there, it's quite obvious there's actually redstone there, but it looks a bit better without the redstone shown. And if we walk along here, don't know quite what to do with this here. This is actually for the doors. There's nothing down here. Well, actually, no, I think there is. Down here, we've got one exit, and we just keep walking and walking and walking and walking. As I said, it is a secret tunnel. But this one, same type of thing, opens up here. But you don't really want to come out here, because if we want to walk this way just a little bit, that's where we came in. So, possibly not the best of ways to go, but hey, not all of them work properly. But if we go this way, you can either walk down there when there's nothing down that way, but we can go this way, and you can see there is another piston here with another button, and this one takes you onto the critical path to be able to get out. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some more in, just to add a little bit of interest and for a reason to go around and find stuff. Down here where we've got this 2-path, it looks a bit odd. Okay? Maybe if we put this as a split like this, go down like that, and then I think it might take out some of this. And under here, in Tinker's Construct, if you go back far enough on my channel, I made a paintball arena using a thing from Tinker's Construct, which is a slime channel. So if we grab this one here, I was thinking if we put under here, something which flows in that direction, all the way along here. When we walk through this, it moves us. So I'm thinking about using that for the exit. But if we actually made it so you can see that, so it looked like it was a little bit visible by putting some glass in there. So let's go stained glass. Let's put in magenta. Something like that. Maybe a little bit broken up. Just looks like there's somewhere to go. We might need to put some walls up or something just so it's not quite as bright down there. And you don't see all the stone bricks. But I think that might be a nice way of making it look like this is just here as a decoration thing, rather than being a odd-shaped area. So I'm still in the middle of putting the secret passages in, and I found this little area here where it's quite large, and we could put some redstone in to make it a bit more interesting. And I thought if we jump down here, right, we could run another one of those water channels, slime channels, along and make it so it pops out somewhere else, and it can bypass some of the actual walls that are in between. So what I'm thinking I'll do is exactly that. So if we put something like this in, and I'm going to run it along probably here to where this dirt is here, because just above here, which I haven't cleared out yet, is another place which might be an advantage to be in. So we'll put that in, and on top of that we're going to put a piston in here as well, and probably make it so that this whole area here, this is a dead end. So I might fill this back in and just put some stone bricks here to hide it. But I'm thinking if we put in a sticky piston there, which we can't have redstone torch about, a sticky piston there, and a piece of dirt on that, and then the same on this side. Once again, can't have a redstone torch on there, although I'll probably get rid of those, to be honest. And we'll put a piece of stuff on there, and then we can add a lever for test purposes. We put levers on these edges for now. Obviously I'm going to put redstone in, and then we're going to cover this up like that. So now when you walk in here, you might just see, you'll just see something like this, where the room, because this whole path is quite windy. When you come into here, there's just a button on the wall. So you might see a button, say, there. And that button will trigger these pistons to drop you down into that slime tunnel and bring you up on the other side. I thought that might be another way of just adding a bit more interest to these tunnels, as well as making some of them more useful. So I'm going to set that up. Okay, so that's the pistons in. We've got a button in, which just runs into a NOT gate and runs the piston, heads back over there, and comes back around to take this stuff out. And in theory, if we close these back up so you can't find them when you're looking for it. So when you come along here, it just looks like a normal button. Now I did move the button to the side, because I thought if you came here and you saw the button, you just press it, which we don't really want. Whereas coming along here, if you see the button, which is normally either on the ground or on the wall, it kind of looks like this door will open. Press that, it then throws you down into here, and as you can see, we then head this way. And this is the piece that will go up. I might have to take out that a little bit, because I think we need to bring this along there. But if now, what we can do now is we can actually send this up. So I think it's aim at the top, and we'll probably have to do that right along. We go along here, and we'll just keep going up, up, and up. So we'll go there, and then if we pop a hole in there, so you get to see daylight. Yep, no, that would be perfect. And then what we can do is just to force the exit, we're going to place half of these, which are harder to do than they should be. And then we're going to put some along there as well. And then what should happen, of course, is that you'll pop out there. Now, I do want to hide... I like that blend a little bit better from the ground, so let's throw in some stone bricks as well. Maybe on here as well, just so it blends more in with the bottom. And yeah, you can see that there is purple here, but I think that should be fine. So now if we go into here, and we'll just put back... Put this... that there, and very difficultly push at there in the middle. There we go. Right, so in theory we'll come along and we end up going up here and then spat back out. And then of course you continue running the maze to wherever you need to go. Thinking I might connect some more of the slime up into this channel so that multiple things come back into here. Right, so one of the very last things is in the middle here. Once again, we're referring to that movie. At the very beginning, when you enter the maze and you're plopped into here, you come up on a elevator type contraption. And I'm thinking we should do something similar here. Now, everywhere else in this episode we've used pistons. But in this case, I don't think we're going to be able to get a piston elevator that works in this space. And I'm also thinking we need to make it a little lower. So it starts in a room. So we'll probably go to about here, and then we'll dig out. Now, no, we need to go one more lower. And in the stone bricks. I don't know, should we use stone bricks here? Might want to make it bigger in terms of out that way, but I think that works. Now what I'm thinking we're going to do, there is a mod that I used in the 1.10 version of the pack, which crashed, but we should be able to, in this version, use it. So, a funky locomotion. What we're going to use here is we're probably just going to use a frame slider. We'll need some frame blocks, and probably a wrench. That's probably all we need for the moment. We will need to make this a little deeper for the frame contraption, especially considering that's the middle, so we're going to have to put a big hole, and then frames here, which we're going to have to wrench the sides of so that it doesn't connect to it. Around here, and then around here as well. And that just means that it won't connect to these blocks when they're there. So if we then put the stone bricks back, or stone or whatever we're using, when we actually move the frame, it won't end up moving it as well. Underneath here, we're going to have, let's just make a little hole in the ground so we can get down there for now. I think we need to be, what? We need to go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we need to go up 8, which probably means we need to go down 8. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And we'll once again make this a hole, so it doesn't connect to anything. Because while I could use the wrench and everything, it's a bit of effort. Put this into there, and that just becomes a hole for blocks to go into. So we do that. Probably need to make that one lower as well. But now, of course, nothing's touching it, so it won't matter too much. We can go to there, and now this will allow us to push up and down. And we are going to place a frame slider. That is the down direction. I can't remember if I need to have that. I'll probably do it anyway. So that's the down direction, and we need to do the same for up direction. Probably there. Flip it. Okay, so that's up and that's down. And then if we were to power this guy, do require power, so we're going to be a bit cheaty here. At the moment, we'll grab ourselves a creative capacitor and power it, probably from there. And now if we power it, they worked. Cool. It did take that with us, which means it didn't go all the way. But then we can place the same thing here. And we also need to give power to that as well. So once again, we'll put power there. And now it should push down. And of course it will stop there. Does that reach the bottom? It does look like it does. And it also means that it doesn't hit any of those. Good. I am going to reach these though. I don't think it's necessary. Do that. I do detect we've got a problem here. Somehow I managed not to hit those. Now of course we do this one here. And that should go all the way. I've just realised we may want to set up something at the bottom here so that it stops. So if we do that, is that high enough up? I think it's go one more up. It'll be hard to get in there currently. Two more up. Yeah, let's go two more up. So we need to take that one off, and we will place in 1, 2, and then at the bottom here we're going to place one more, and this one is just a counterweight to stop it going any further down. So that should take us all the way up and all the way down. Our controls are over here. So we turn that like that. That high. Ooh, that might actually be too high now. Yep, that's gone way too high. Okay. So back to the theory of we take one of those out, we'll push it down, 2, and then put that there. Is that the right height? Looks like it might be. And I have also realised that we can place something on top of those. So why use the frame blocks when we can just push all the way down? That, we possibly need to go one more down, I've just realised, but we could put these on top. Or actually, let's go for something like planks. Let's go for a spruce plank. Go for a spruce plank on top. Back down here, we will run that. Turn that one off. Flickery, probably need some lighting in here. So what we need to do now is a little bit of redstone to make it so that these automate and have something where you press a button and it will start taking you up. Okay, so I've got the funky locomotion frame blocks in, all the redstone's working. If we press the button now, it comes down very slowly, and then about 5 seconds later it will head back up. There it is. And of course it takes all the way up to the top there. With a quick drop down here and see how this redstone works. So the button is effectively just a redstone wire at the back here. It runs down this line and it will trigger this toggle latch. This toggle latch will then power the down line, but it also powers a pulse former and a state cell, which is set to 13 seconds, which is about 8 seconds for it to come down, and then about another 5 seconds for the player to hop on. After that, it then follows this blue line and just re-triggers back the toggle latch. Which, on this side, I could have got away with just having a single line coming off this, but I was having some bouncing problems at the top, so I thought if I set it to 8 seconds as well, it'll work. But of course with a state cell, it does mean you've got to have a off signal, or it's got to trigger. So we do a pulse former. That goes into both a microcontroller, which is the same microcontroller we're using in the other locations, and it's just for that noise, which is the alert noise. It's not doing any other redstone besides that. But it also goes to a state cell, which is set to 9 seconds. Now 9 seconds, as I said, is about right for it to come up and down. So the one that's here, 13 seconds, is actually 4 seconds for the player to get on. But I think that's enough for this episode. Hopefully you enjoy your Halloween. If you like this episode, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. But otherwise, have a great day, and see ya!